Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Apostate Weekly. I'm your host, James.
And I'm Ryan.
And this week, we have a lot going on in the news, including a story about commercials that were run during the Super Bowl and the witnesses trying to push their message during the Super Bowl. So let's get into the intro and we'll talk about these stories and more.
Let's do it.
All righty then. Got them bones crack-a-lacking this morning.
What a time to be alive.
I know, right? Oh, good morning, Ronnie and Judge. How y'all doing today? So, busy week in the news.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Lot going on.
It's flooded.
God's
great flood is here, and it's in commercials for the Super Bowl.
Well, like I was telling you before just before the show started, I got more stories than I have time to report them in a
right.
show. So,
I know. Like the show is only really supposed to be like around a half hour long, and sometimes we're here for almost an hour just trying to get through.
I know.
Get through them all.
But I mean, some of these stories, there's just so much to talk about with these and discuss,
Right.
and it's just crazy. Some of this stuff going on, like these Super Bowl commercials. Like, has anybody in the audience seen the Heat Gets Us Super Bowl commercials? You might not have, Sam, because you're in the UK, but like, you should go look that up.
You really should. Absolutely.
I mean, it is, they've spent, on the commercial alone. Yeah, almost $20 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just for a commercial about washing feet and pushing the message that they were pushing about Jesus was the right one, I would say.
You didn't miss anything.
I'll give them
trust
that.
Me.
No, you didn't, Ronnie. But
but you did. You did miss it.
You missed it and you did. Well, see, there's something else, though, that you didn't know. I told you just before the show. Scientology also had a Super Bowl commercial that they spent over $1 million on as well to get aired.
I'm going to be watching
and it was only in select markets, too. So, like, all these – and I watched that one. Oh, my gosh. It was just creepy, their commercial. Like,
it's so surreal to be living in this world where – that much money can be spent on a commercial when in actuality, everybody in this country is begging for help. I mean, not everybody, but the majority of people are looking for, better paying jobs and healthcare and yada, yada, yada. And this is what they get is shoving Jesus down your throat.
And here's the problem too with it, because it's not just this commercial, it's an entire campaign that these organizations are spending the money on. And it's $100 million campaign, okay? And it's backed by the likes of a company like Hobby Lobby. And if anybody doesn't know, Hobby Lobby—
they're the worst.
Had literally went to the Supreme Court to try to say that they don't need to offer contraceptives as part of their healthcare insurance for their employees.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of conservative group we're dealing with here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of people that are behind these commercials. So even though they might have the more liberal, biblical type Jesus that people want to like hype up.
He's for everybody. Yeah.
For everybody. The middleman, the good hippie
guy. Yeah. Hippie Jesus.
But it's still missing the point because it's backed by these conservatives who are more for the right-wing guns, God and babies type of Jesus.
Right. They're supposedly, from what I read, the article I read is they were intending to spend the money to show people that Jesus is for everybody and conservatives don't own him.
Right.
Do I need to repeat what I just said? They're trying to pretend that they don't own him when they spent how much? $20
Yeah,
million on a Super Bowl ad. So I think that you just proved the point that in fact you do have a proprietary brand of Jesus Christ that you are manufacturing and selling to people in commercials.
correct. And on top of all that, um, oh, I hate that. I lost my thought.
I talk too much.
No,
Jesus
no, you're fine.
hates
You're
me.
fine. Jesus freaking Christ.
Jesus Christ. That's why I call out to him all the time.
Hey, now. We don't need to know that.
Actually, I call out to God usually for that. So just saying.
Oh, that's
Happy
what I was going to say.
Valentine's Day.
But here's the big thing I've been seeing on social media with like the atheist Facebook groups and all that. Think of how much good that money could have done for the communities, for the countries, for homelessness, for hunger, for something other than an advertising campaign trying to push your message. If you really want to show that Jesus is this loving deity that you want to try to make him out to be in this commercial, take that money and spend it on something actually good instead of this crap. It can't hear you.
There's so many things that we need as a society. I mean, everything is crumbling.
Yeah.
Even people who have health care and insurance are this close to, losing their job, or not even the medical assistance they need is covered by the insurance, because everything is just basically here to drain the money from people but give no return. Businesses are getting rich and we're getting broke and in debt. And a lot of it is medical debt. It's ridiculous. We need so many better programs to be equitable here in this country. And the money goes into investments of a commercial.
Yeah.
What is the return of your investment? I'd love to know. What do you get back from that other than backlash? And sometimes I feel like that is just intentional. You intentionally want to cause drama around your religion. I don't know why. I don't completely get it, but I'm sure there's reasons.
Well, I mean, I think the whole purpose is to get people back in the churches again. And if you get people in churches, you get the donations and money from the people, right? However,
Yeah, but does that bring people back? Does that do they? I'd
it
love to know
brings-
if they really see people coming back because of these commercials.
I could see it bringing people back who believe in it still, and want to go to that message. But as far
Maybe
as
it's the
outsiders-
controversy that brings them back, because they see you and me are, not arguing, but having discussions about Jesus and the waste of money and da 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 da. And they're like, oh, but I love Jesus. And it is true. He is the man of the people. And maybe that is what pushes them back, is our arguments.
But hopefully with our arguments too that we use, they see the sensibility in it and be like, what hypocrites these people really are.
I mean, you'd hope that would be the goal. American atheists. But obviously their goal is completely different than what, ours is. A corporation who wants to deny people the proper health care coverage. Like, who in the right mind does that? I don't understand.
I know. And then again, like I said, Scientology ran an ad as well. So that
Usher?
you want to see the Scientology ad?
Oh, I'd love to see the Scientology ad. I'm definitely going to watch it today. If we don't watch it now, I'm watching it.
I'll share it right now with you.
Oh, I'd love to see it. I'm so curious. What the frick could they be saying on a Super Bowl ad?
Watch this.
Oh God,
it's
is it Neo?
No, it's not Neo.
Every day, millions of people ask, what is Scientology?
I don't.
Here's an idea. What if you just take a look?
Take a look.
What if you see for yourself who we are?
I know.
What we believe. and
What
what
do
we
you
stand
believe?
for. Our
Zeno?
doors are open
Anything?
Where's Zeno in this commercial? I want to see
to
Zeno.
all people
Did they explain anything?
in every corner of the
If only
world.
they.
So what is Scientology? Maybe
What
it's
is
time
it?
to look.
Bullshit.
So they didn't answer.
No, they didn't answer it.
So they asked several times, what is Scientology? But they've not answered the question. What is that?
You know what I noticed in this commercial too? Look at this image right here.
Yes,
on
this
top
is the
of the
perfect
building?
pause. Right.
What's on top of the building?
It is just, it's American culture, an American flag and a cross. We don't care if you believe in it or not.
Yeah, they don't even do Jesus or anything like that, but they still got a cross on top of their building. I'm like, what the hell is with that?
Because, dude, this is like psychology 101 from like Asher and Yahweh's time. Taking and appropriating other people's symbols, right?
Yeah.
Because there could be people who are like, I love Jesus, but I'm just not sure if this is for me because of the conservatives who do own his image. And they see this commercial in Scientology and they see a cross and they think, oh, hey, well, maybe this is something I'm curious about because of that symbology. And that is why all
Exactly.
these religions use the same damn shit and recycle it and just adapt it for their means because it lures people in. That is wicked.
I know, isn't it?
Wicked. Yes.
And I love how they say, well, see for yourself. See what?
Right.
Like-
what am I seeing?
What am I seeing? Like that, like
You're not relate.
I almost had the gumption to go into the comment section and mention some stuff like, you know, Leah Remini's show or, you know,
Yes.
Zenu. But at the same time, I'm like, you know, Scientologists are very litigious. I do not have the money to protect myself against them. So I'm staying out of the comments section on that one.
You know, I've been meaning to have a conversation with you, and I think that we should throw the word allegedly around a little bit more. Just allegedly. That way we kind of cover ourselves because we're not accusing anybody of anything. We're just saying allegedly this is what we heard. So allegedly Scientology spent millions of dollars on a Super Bowl. I don't know for sure, but allegedly
actually,
they did.
You can actually Google that and find out.
No. I know. I'm just joking. I'm being extra secure.
Allegedly, they're very litigious.
Allegedly. I wouldn't know anything about it, but allegedly.
Allegedly, they have a Zeno.
Allegedly, you can connect yourself to a pair of tin cans and decipher if you have bad thoughts or not. Allegedly.
And while I connect myself to tin cans, I can start singing the song from The Wizard of Oz. If I only had a brain.
Off to see the wizard. Did you know that it's actually Tony Morris? He's the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, is he?
Don't pull that curtain.
I wonder who the Wicked Witch of the West is.
Oh, that's a good question. Splain.
You.
I like that even better. Do I get magical powers because I need to zap some people? Just saying.
Sure, why not? Go ahead.
Thank you. I'll be very humanitarian about it. I promise. I'll do it quickly. Yes, the Wizard of Oz. Anyway.
So while we're talking about
waste.
the Super Bowl, let's talk about something else that's a big waste of time too.
Oh boy.
There was 1,000 Jehovah's Witnesses cart witnessing at the Super Bowl.
No, they
like
give me something to throw.
So, you know, you talk about just waste of time.
Right.
Not only is it at the Super Bowl, but the Super Bowl this year was played in Las Vegas, aka Sin City.
Oh, so they were living the life of luxury in Vegas.
Yeah.
I wonder if they were like this, looking at some of the outfits that they saw on the way into the Super Bowl. Like, forgive me, Jehovah.
Let me. Okay, I've been to Vegas. I was a 17-year-old Jehovah Witness pioneer when I went to Vegas.
Oh, brother.
And my mom and dad took me there instead of Bethel. Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Didn't you get pamphlets?
Listen to this. I'm going to tell a story. I don't know if I even told my parents this one yet or not.
I love it.
So, one day
Mom,
we were walking.
Dad.
Plug your ears, Mom and Dad. Don't turn off the computer. I got a story to tell you. You don't need to know. So we were walking down the strip one day, and they were probably about 20, 30 feet in front of me. And there was this guy with a stack of booklets like this, and as people were walking, they were just putting them in your hand. Right? And
right.
As I walked by, he just took one in my hand too. I'm like, I just grabbed it. I'm like, okay. And I opened it up. I started looking at it. I'm like,
so innocent.
It was a booklet, like probably about that thick. It was a directory of all the hookers in town with color pictures, phone numbers, everything.
Wow. I didn't realize like how I don't know, together they were. Didn't realize like the pimps and the people pushing.
Well, they literally had it on
booklets.
Billboards, taxi cab signs for them with numbers and everything. And like I remember I grabbed it, I started looking, I'm like,
nothing happening here, Mom and Dad.
Nope,
but
not at all.
But I imagine that if you are in a place like Las Vegas and you're cart witnessing, going door to door, that there's a likelihood that that will happen to you, has happened to you at some time, having some kind of pamphlet, picture, advertisement of some sort placed into your hands. And, here you are, a young teenager who probably has not seen some of this stuff before. Like, hello. That'll wake you up.
But I mean, wouldn't their carts be more successful if they had that on their carts?
True. That is true.
When I'm saying this funny stuff, you might spit it all over your computer.
Well, that's happened before as well. Usually I swallow, but sometimes I spit when I laugh.
God, right.
Sorry, y'all.
Oh,
never late, always on time. Good morning.
Kill me.
We were just getting wet over here. No big deal. But no, the audacity. I look at the state of this world and I think of like, just with a couple $1,000s, what I could do to help like people in my area, causes, programs, etc. And they've got millions to spend on this.
Oh yeah.
And it just seems, it's hypocritical. It's unfathomable that is where you decide to place your money when we're telling you, like people are telling you, like, no, this is not a good place to put your money. What, you just gave it to, who is it? CBS, NBC? I don't even know where the freaking Super Bowl was, which network it was on.
Yes.
Yeah, those execs. You just gave rich people even more money. How does that help anybody?
It does. And like I was reading a post, like, and I agreed with it too. If the average person like us had that kind of money, we would do something good with it. We would end the homeless crisis. We would end the healthcare crisis, we know we would still have billions or millions of dollars left over. We could live our lives comfortably and fat and happy the rest of our lives. And
100%,
done so much good for the world. And these people have it in their means to do and still live comfortably the rest of their lives and their future children's lives. And they don't do a damn thing.
Right. If you are supposed to embody Christ and who he was, and if you want to truly show who he was as a person and how he, experienced the peoples that he was surrounded with, whether they were Jewish or Gentiles, and how he treated them. And if you say that he was washing people's feet and he was respectful and loving and kind, how are you showing that as a company, Hobby Lobby, when, as you said, they are trying to take away people's ability to protect themselves, from unwanted pregnancies or, whatever health issue that they have. That is
Yep.
not embodying Jesus' spirit. Jesus would break
No.
the law if he needed to. That is
Yes.
exactly who Jesus was. And he said that. So
Yeah.
to intentionally impinge people's rights is not embodying Christ whatsoever.
No,
It's
not at all.
flagrant hilariousness.
On top of them wanting to also try to enact laws that harm other minorities in their communities and country as well. So
Mm.
all around, they're just doing the complete opposite of what their Christ would have actually done.
Oh, okay. So they had little news blips. Is that what you're saying, Sam? They had little news blips about the Jehovah's Witnesses
Yeah,
outside of the Super Bowl.
yeah, they
Ay,
did.
Dios mío.
I thought about emailing that news company and letting them know. And I saw several other people that had said the same thing. I think one person did. I don't know if they did for sure or not, but oh yeah. No, I'm not
100%,
surprised
Mom.
they advertise, Mom. You're right. But, at the same time, the hypocrisy of it does need to be pointed out and screamed from the rooftops.
Hmm. It's
You
just hard
know,
for us to understand because we're people who put words into action. Like, we don't just sit on our laurels. Like, if something needs to be done, if we can do something about something, we're the kind of people who would actually just do it and not, save face and throw money at it. Well, they didn't even throw money at the problem. They invested the money elsewhere. But that's why I think it breaks my brain to go like, okay, you're using all this commercial time to say how great Jesus is when you could have actually just maybe filmed a documentary about all the homeless people that you just fed with this $20 million. Now that
exactly.
would motivate my heart. If you put up a freaking ad with showing how you're cooking the food and handing it out and giving them clothes and not expecting a dime back, I'd be like, I might become a freaking Christian. You might have just wrangled me in. But
Yeah.
that utter show of just demonstrative disrespect for who Jesus was supposed to be.
Yeah,
That's what I say to
exactly.
that.
Exactly.
Right. So
100%.
they've spent money. So Watchtower is obviously spent money or, called their insider scoop person from their PR team to get them a little news time.
Hmm. Speaking about Watchtower PR people,
Ah,
a good little segue.
segue. Oh, Richie
Oh,
Rich.
yeah.
Jinxie Jinx.
So,
Dad,
yes, Sadie?
I need my journal that's in there and also Morgan's lunch and stuff today. It's in a lunchbox.
Your journal in here? Oh, okay. Hang on one second.
Red journal.
No worries.
Yep.
Well, hello there. Good morning. What a perfect name. Watch Me Tower. I like that.
Okay, so segueing back into this, Robert Hendricks, the Watchtower Public Information Department spokesman that we have seen on countless news shows, doing these softball fluff pieces for the media, for Watchtower, he's been kicked out, apparently.
Say it ain't so.
And also, for those of you who don't know or follow Ron Pomo on Twitter or
You
Reddit,
should.
you should, first of all.
He's amazing.
Second of all, Robert Hendricks is the one that got Ron Pomo called out and kicked out of the organization himself.
Yes. And that is pinned on his Twitter. Go look at that story.
Yes.
It's pinned on right directly. The first thing you'll see. Go read what Robert Hendricks did to Ron Pomo.
Yeah, I mean, here's the screen of it right here of his
Awesome
Twitter. That's his Reddit. Sorry, but this is where he posted the whole story about it.
Yeah.
On his Reddit for everybody to read. So
the involvement that this high echelon man went through just to get to This is no offense, a nobody, right? As a Jehovah's Witness, you're just a nobody. You're just a number. And Robert Hendricks is one of the faces. Oh, excuse me. Robert Hendricks was
Yes.
one of the faces of the Jehovah's Witness organization. And he took all of his time out to go for a peon. That says something.
Now, let's check out something else about this person of interest that we're talking about. Check out this page right here. Let me make it a little bit bigger. This is Liberty Magazine, which is a Christian magazine. Look who
Oh,
wrote
interesting.
an article for them.
That's weird. That's suspicious.
Little Robbie boy.
Robbie boy. Robbie, what are you doing, Robbie? Robbie
wrote an article for them about
that seems.
You know, he wrote an article about the Jehovah's Witnesses in their magazine, but wouldn't that be considered an interfaith activity?
Yeah, that seems like a betrayal.
And I seem to remember something in the Elders Manual how that's a disfellowshipping offense because you're not supposed to be involved in interfaith activities.
It is something to take very seriously. That is why some Jehovah's Witnesses will not step a foot into a church for a wedding, for a funeral, for nada, because
there you go.
You could stumble somebody.
But this guy's writing articles for other Christian magazines. I feel so stumbled right now.
I'm literally stumbling in my pants. I'm stumbling my pants as we speak.
I'm going to leave the truth over that one.
Could you imagine? Oh my God. Listen, this has been a shit year for me. For me, this has been a shit. Well, not for me, but for, most people like Palestine. This has been a shit year, but I have to tell you what, this just brought I feel joyful this morning. Knowing that ding dong, the evil witch is dead. First, I have to tell you, something told me, I think we all knew that big shakes were going to come in the organization as Pennsylvania opened up this can of whoop ass into, their secrecy and hiding, child abuse. And of course, if you are the mouthpiece, like Toni Morris was, and like Robert Hendricks was, you're going to go down. And I wonder how many are going to be tumbling down after.
Yeah, that's definitely something to keep an eye out for. All the upper echelons, that not the governing body top right now, but the ones just under them. How many of them are going to be just disappearing and going away?
What were they privy to that the organization needs to find a way to silence them? And how do you silence them? How do you silence a Jehovah's Witness? Can they be paid off? Do you have to move them around? Do you have to placate them some way? Do you move them up There's so many moving parts.
Do you have to give them a retirement home in North Carolina?
Oh, I think that you must, because it seems as that was the case for Mr. Toni Morris.
Yeah, exactly. So that could have been a placating thing for him. We don't know.
Right.
Keep him quiet. Hey, you're being kicked off, but here's a house.
Allegedly.
You. Shut up. Allegedly. Thank you, Ken. Very good. I love it how our viewers are watching that for us and our well-being. I appreciate that.
Because I tell you what, Scientology is litigious, but the JWs, allegedly, but the Jehovah's Witnesses are allegedly litigious. For real,
they have a big litigiousness.
Oh, they got that big ledger. They come after victims. They go after whole groups of victims and take them to court. So allegedly, they would come after us. Anyhow, what is Hendricks going to get? I think that we should probably take some kind of poll on this. Is he going to get a monetary? Is he going to get a house? A call? What? Tell me what. Yeah. I want to know.
Robert Hendricks, come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
Yeah. But, will it be a home somewhere? Will we know? Or is this a really bad breakup? I need to know more. I have so many
I
questions.
think we will know because we have some very good people in the XJW community who find these people and post it all over Twitter. So,
I wish he'd sing like a canary. Could you imagine?
oh God, that would be great.
Because he would know so much stuff. He knows everything about what's happening with their PID team, their PR team.
Yes.
That would be good news.
Yes, it would be.
One can hope. One can hope. Maybe he just got a better job with the Scientologists, and that's where he's going. He's going to be their PR person now.
They'll end up with a village. They'll have a whole village of people they've kicked out and given homes to.
It'll be like a retirement village. It'll be exactly like that.
I like this one better. Laura Mermaid, a secret underground bunker.
That would be more their style.
Yes, it would be. That's more up their alley.
Apocalyptic like cult groups, secret underground bunker. I think you hit the nail on the head, my friend.
Yeah, really well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So,
whew. Good news. Good
that's
news.
a lot to go through, isn't it? Well,
It
I do have one bad news story though.
Oh, boo.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I know we had so much fun making fun of all these other things, allegedly.
Allegedly.
This one, back in Russia again, and I know we talked about this occasionally, but it's just so sad. We had another person that was sentenced to 8 years. Another Jehovah Witness. The guy's name is Dmitry Barmakin Vladisvostok, and he was sentenced to 8 years. He's 49 years old. Gets 8 years of imprisonment for practicing his faith in Russia. So
Putin, come on, Putin. The fuck is wrong with you, bro? Like, he is a conundrum, that dude.
Yes,
he is such a freaking conundrum. Like, he'll say some stuff, and I'm like, okay, he's actually intelligent, but then does something like this, and I'm like, but you don't realize that this is not going to help anything. This is not the way to solve problems. Like, you're not that smart.
Like, I listened to just a little bit of that Tucker Carlson interview he did.
I need to watch all of it. I've only seen clips. I want to watch the whole thing. Did you watch the whole thing?
No, just like the first few minutes of it. It was like a 2-hour interview.
Yeah, it's long. I know.
And one of the first things Putin started talking about was the history of Russia and Ukraine and all that. And to me, I'm guessing because of the way he was starting to frame that he was framing it as, Ukraine used to be owned by Russia, therefore we still should own it because it's our sovereign right,
right.
Kind of, setup that I think he was trying to do with that. And I'm just like, and that
doesn't work like that.
Your platform, I don't think so. Because if that's the case, the American Indians still own America.
There's so many logical things that don't make sense with that.
Yeah.
I do see. This is what I don't understand. I'm not great with politics. I've heard that he's displeased with some of the things that what's the Ukrainian guy? What's his name?
Zelensky.
Yes, Zelensky, that he's doing some nefarious things. That's supposedly what I've heard from Putin, is that he's doing nefarious things. And that's the issue, is that it's going to be a real combatant for Putin, supposedly, because Zelensky has the backing of, because we don't like Russia, right? Russia, bad guy, Russia, enemy. So we're investing money into people like Zelensky, and supposedly Zelensky is also tired of this war and wants to get out of it. But we have to continue to use people as our long arm of the law, right? And pay people and send money to them. And we're continuously sending packages to them because we don't like Putin. So it's all like a proxy everywhere. Everywhere's a freaking proxy war because of us.
Of course, Putin did say if we stopped funding Ukraine, the war would end pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's we are the ones who want this to go. I truly do not, from what I've heard. Again, please don't. I'm not any kind of political
Right.
knowledgeable person whatsoever. But from what I've heard, and it makes sense to me that we are the ones pushing and perpetuating this war.
Yeah, it does.
We're
Just
supplying the arms. We're supplying the not everything, but a good portion of it, just like we are to Israel, so they can,
Yep.
kill Palestinians and steal their land. How do we
That's
give money
exactly what
to
I was about to say.
Israel, but then we give money to Zelensky? Like, the arguments for both are
Are
antithetical
complete
to each
opposite.
other.
So
Yeah.
does that mean they cancel each other out?
I
And we're
wish.
okay?
I wish. Right. It's not actually happening because
It's not
they
happening.
they equal each other out. Yeah, it is
On the
all about
one
the military industrial complex. And specifically because our country, capitalism, we're like in the death throes of capitalism. Society is crumbling and cracking. All of our roads, our communication systems, our transportation, like everything, education, healthcare, it's all really just kind of crumbling. And I think COVID kind of showed us that our hospitals were not able to, and all the companies aren't able to produce what we need. So many holes were shown, I think, and cracks into this country. And this is what we do with our money, what we invest in, the military industrial complex. And why is crime getting worse? Why are things not getting better here when we keep putting money into the things that are supposed to get us safety? Well, guess what? Bombing is not how you get to safety. Bombing is not how you get to peace.
No.
Redemption, freedom, justice is how we get to peace and security. Anyway, sorry, get off my high horse. Apologies. That was a rant.
She thinks her mini horse is a high horse, y'all.
Wait. Little Sebastian. Do y'all watch Parks and Rec?
Mm-mm.
Oh, little Sebastian is a mini horse. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm riding
Is it
little
named-
Sebastian.
Is it named Ed? Oh no, it's Sebastian.
No, that's a
horse
talking
named Ed.
horse.
That's an old.
Nobody knows a horse, of course.
At least it's not a talking donkey. Then it'd be talking out of its ass.
Oh my Jesus. Jesus, we need you now. Where's that Super Bowl commercial when I need Jesus?
Yeah,
Maybe
my
that's
feet
what
are
you're
dirty.
supposed
Can
to
you
do.
Can you come wash my feet, Jesus?
Yo, and we didn't even talk about like the foot fetish shit.
Oh my God.
Somebody has to have a foot fetish. This is some serious perversion. Oh, sorry. I apologize. I'm not yucking anybody's yum. Quite frankly, you want to suck on my toes, wash my feet? Like, if you're into it, like, I probably could get into it. But don't tell me that this was not sexual in nature, these commercials. Please. I can see right through it. Please.
I'm just glad I didn't see any little boys in the commercial.
Oh my God. And wait. I have another question too. I really should do a video about this. Why were so many of these images just AI generated? Like, you couldn't even pay people. You couldn't even pay people to take photos. You couldn't pay actors who might have needed the money in this, economic climate. You did AI. AI is for broke people like me who can't afford millions of dollars for my production. Right?
And think about it too, though. Like, to make a commercial with AI generated stuff, right? And the effects and all that went into it. That shit ain't cheap either.
True. I mean, it depending on who they paid, what they paid. But
exactly.
I could have generated those images for, the back end. Of course, somebody's paying on the back end to get this whole AI thing up and running and whatnot. But
we had AI Jesus.
I was like, you got to be kidding me. I'm looking at AI generated images of a white police officer washing the feet of a black man in a dirty street.
Yeah.
What is the connotation behind that message? I'm so confused.
They also had in front of abortion clinic.
Yes, I saw that. Family clinic, and there were people in the background holding signs and whatnot.
Yeah. And so they're trying to act like they're this middle ground, yay, we accept you, we love you, and all this. But when you really look at their agendas, they don't accept you. They don't want you. They want to stamp you out. If you're any of these minorities in the LGBTQ community, if you get an abortion, if you're anybody who's not them and conforms to what they want to stamp you out.
And it just boggles my mind that they use these commercials to say, no, we're showing you how much we love you. We'd wash your feet outside the clinic. No, if you cared about the women or the people who have to enter the clinics because they need some kind of healthcare, whatever it may be, before birth, after birth, or just simply, so they don't have children, you would actually ask those people on the way in, like, is there anything I could do? If I wrote you a check for $5,000, whatever, gave you clothes, gave you support. If I told you that I had a community to support, would it change your mind? Because I wish I had the stats in front of me, but most people who get an abortion is because they can't afford a baby. If everybody could afford a baby and had the healthcare, if you don't have healthcare in the first place, how are you going to pay just to have the thing come out your vagina?
Yeah.
Oh, watch your Warwick Pimo. Watch me tell.
Welcome, Warwick Pimo.
Hi. I'll have to take a look at your video. Sorry, I wasn't ignoring you. I'm just too busy blabbing, but I'll take a look at your video and just see what's up. See what you have to say.
Welcome over to the show here, buddy. I'm glad to see you here, man.
Listen, this is what I have to say, y'all. I believe that everything is intentional. It's all psychological warfare. They are doing this intentionally to make us feel crazy. It's a lot of talk, no action. And they're putting all the money into the talking and no action is coming out. And action for me is, the verb that will show me that you're about business. The talking, that reminds me of my narcissistic, abusive ex and being a Jehovah's Witness. No thanks. I want no part of it. No, nothing.
Exactly. But with that being said, now let's take Rion off her pulpit here.
Yeah, let me step down, please.
Let's step down. Let's all give her a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you.
And let's wrap up the show here because we are quite a bit over time today. But I mean, it's a lot to go over and talk about, though, because these things are just so upsetting, and they need to have some kind of resolution, and we need to take action, and we need to see what we can start doing in our local communities and our areas, and start small and figure out how we can make a positive effect in our own areas.
Yeah. Local community, getting with people and, maybe Facebook groups or whatnot, and I'm trying to do that myself. I want to make sure that I'm not just saying that I'm doing as well. And I'm doing my best to reach out to people in my local area who want to make differences. And sometimes that means getting involved in politics. And man, being an ex-JW, I'm not very good with, I have a learning curve.
Oh, yeah.
A really big learning curve, which is intimidating. A lot of times I feel like I don't even want to do any of this because I'm afraid I'll sound like a complete imbecile going like, well, what does that mean? What does that do? But you know what? Put your pride aside, get involved, speak out. We can do things together. It takes an army. And I truly believe that with our voice, we can make a lot of change happen.
Absolutely. And again, that's why we do these kinds of shows, to help get these messages out there and hopefully inspire others to step up and take action as well.
Just like Jesus.
So, yes.
Allegedly.
That is the word of the day, everybody. So if you can, please work that into your vocabulary, allegedly, in your day somewhere.
Yes. And don't forget, I want you to allegedly apostate your way.
Sam just reminded me about the Discord link. I'm going to put that in right now. Thank you, Sam. You also forgot to say for everybody to like and share the show. So if everybody could do that, please give us a like and share so we can get these stories spread out to the masses here.
Just like Jesus's word. I want to be able to, I don't want to wash your feet, but I'd like to help wash your brain. Unwash. I want to unwash your brain.
You want to brainwash people?
Yes. Jesus washes feet, I wash brains.
Yeah, there you go. You truly are a cult leader. That's
A perversion.
There we go. There's the Discord link for everybody. So y'all can come join us on Discord and join the discussion. I'm sure if Jesus was here, he would say hit the like button. He absolutely would.
He would.
He would.
Mm-hmm.
So
Anyway,
with that being said, we're going to wrap it up here, folks. Thank you for
we
joining
love you
us.
all.
We love you all. Hope you all have a wonderful day. And we'll see you next week. We got some more stories coming your way because, like I said, at the beginning of the show, I had more stories than shows. So we got more stuff for you coming next week. So please be sure to join us next week on Apostate Weekly. And have
Don't
a great
forget.
week.
Apostate your way.
Damn
Allegedly.
right. Allegedly. Bye, everybody.
Bye.